Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nuuli Forged. My name is Jared, and I am your humble dungeon master here. With me are three of my four glorious misfits. Hooray!
Yay!
Unfortunately, Tanner is unavailable this evening. He has to deal with some personal projects, so he's away doing that. We send him much love and much misses, and Matt is also away, but we need to give a big shout out and a hearty congratulations to Matt because by
Was
this
today
time,
today?
no, today's not the day, but by this time next week, Matt
Will be today.
will be married. I
Woohoo!
believe Monday is the
We
actual day, but so
It's
congratulations,
1,
Matt.
2, 3.
Congrats,
right?
Matt.
Yeah. So congratulations, Matt. And next week we will hopefully hear whether or not you made it through the weekend as a married man. So good job.
Hey, it's not that bad, the
I
transition.
wouldn't know.
Come
Yeah.
on.
I have no frame of reference.
The three of us have
It's-
survived.
It's
Yeah.
survivable.
I've been single for 20 years, so yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Maybe it wouldn't
that's
be
not
survivable.
true. I have dated, but I have not been married in 20 years. Nor before
There you
that
go.
20 years, so I've never been married.
I was gonna say,
It's not like I was married in high school and then no more.
I mean,
Also
in
a
some
high
states
school
it's
career,
legal.
In
Jared.
some states, yeah, but not in my history. So great.
Now that we've made it really awkward.
Yeah. So first, congratulations to Matt. Big ups to our main turtle. Big ups to Spoot. Cool. Next up, a couple of little announcements. A big thank you to Dirty20 Live, who has followed us over the course of the week. So thank you to Dirty20 Live. And a big
Followers.
perpetual shout out and thank you to I've Got It for being the best mod we could ever get, have,
Absolutely.
want, desire, or crave. Been with us since day one. I've got it. You've got it. And the it is our love.
Yay!
Is that cool? I don't know.
How do we do this?
I'm speaking for everybody.
There it is.
So
I
deal
can do
with it.
this.
Cool. A kind of a fun note also pertaining to Matt and myself. Our podcast, Mid-Level Adventurers, has just released another episode on YouTube. So if you like to have YouTube playing in the background, you can go check that out. Mid-Level Adventurers on YouTube.
I
And-
listened to that one already, so
Fair. Hey, if you listen to us at any time, we love it. And I do need to issue a self-correction from last week. Last week, I told you all that you traveled 3 hours outside of the Verdenton Glen. It was actually 3 days.
oh, that's different.
Ah.
We
Yeah,
teleported
we
for
should
3
do
days.
Yeah, nothing happened over the course of those days. It was a very safe area, but that was a misspeak on my part. So, just to give you a sense of distance and time.
Okay.
Got it.
It's not like Best feels like, oh, just a hop, skip, and a jump. It's about
Right.
3 to 4 days away.
We didn't sprint there for 3 hours.
Right. So that was my mistake. But otherwise, that's all I had to say. So let's introduce these three glorious misfits. I would like to know who you are, who your character is, and I would like to know this week, since we are getting a D&D cartoon in the next week or so, tell me who would voice your character, ideally, in an animated adventure or a movie or something like that. So
Ooh.
throw that one out there. Let's
Uh,
start up in this corner with Sarah.
Oh, crap! I get the hard question and I'm back in the corner. My name is Sarah and I play Olive, the half-orc druid. And in my perfect cartoon of Olive, she would be voiced by
Other than yourself, of course.
right. Carol Channing.
Okay. All right.
I was like, woman with the gravelly voice person. Yeah,
All right.
that's who I'm thinking of.
Cool.
Took me a second. Names are hard.
Awesome. Glorious. Moving on kind of let's go up and over this week to Mike.
Also, she might be dead, but whatever.
Well, I didn't say they had to be alive.
I am Mike. I play Defect, Warforged Barbarian.
Arcana Forged.
Arcana Forged.
Actually, Arcanaton. Sorry.
Arcanaton.
Yeah, we had to update that, huh? On our character sheet?
You do.
Anyway,
I have updated it on the slide, so.
Oh, I never noticed.
You don't watch the break.
Don't watch the slides.
Because that you're usually peeing or getting a drink or something.
That's my tea break, so I usually get up.
Which is legit. Bio breaks matter.
That is the point of it. I can't think of because I never thought about what his voice would sound like. Maybe just to be goofy and silly, let's say Arnold Schwarzenegger. Let's go with that.
Okay.
I can think about this all day and all night and pick out so many names, but at the moment I'm lost. So let's just say Arnold Schwarzenegger.
All right. Defect suddenly gets an Austrian accent out of nowhere. But cool.
It's an Arcanaton accent. It's fine.
It's cool. I dig it.
He's played a Terminator, so it kind of works.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'll be back for more. Moving on down to Amber.
That's me. Pardon me. I'm Amber. I play Greg, the Goblin Artificer. And so here's the thing. I think that I would want Joan Cusack to voice it, doing her best Gilbert Gottfried impression.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
Okay.
Like that. I kid you not. I thought of those two things immediately. I just had to remember Joan Cusack's name. That's my answer.
I mean,
I like it. That's awesome.
That's actually a really fun answer. So, yeah.
It's what I thought of immediately. I like both of their voices a lot. Very distinct character voices.
Indeed so.
Well, we kind of all chose very distinct voices.
It's true.
Also true.
I wish that I could say that Troy Agdashlu would voice it, but from The Expanse.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
No, that's too majestic a voice. Maybe the old Grig, when Grig's a grown-up.
Oh, Elder Grig? You're
Elder
implying
Grig.
that Grig lives that long.
I mean, who knows? One can dream.
Will be delivered by
One can dream.
It's true.
your voiceover in Flash.
Yeah, in my memoir.
Indeed. And that brings us to me, myself, and I. I am Jared. I'm your humble dungeon master. I play everything that's not a player character. And I think if I were going to have anyone voice... Oh, who should I pick? If I were going to have anyone voice Seda Malor, I would have him be voiced by LeVar Burton.
Okay.
Solid choice.
Wise,
He's a very soothing voice.
bookish, soothing, calm. LeVar Burton. He's my choice for Seda Malor. So boom, there's a bit of info. Fun times. All right. With that being said, let's dive right into this week's episode. Last time on Nuuli Forged, our heroes left the Verdenton Glen with their new ally, Paduk Quickwing, a sprite and member of the Sprite Guard who had decided to take a leave of absence in order to accompany them. Together, they crossed the 3-mile-wide Divide River and made it to the town of Bestville, a rough-and-tumble frontier-type town. There, they purchased a few random magical items from a turtle purveyor named Rek, who claimed to be the lead supplier for a local group of wizards known as the Errant Hexacon, and a variety of potions from a woman named Virginia Dare. Getting rooms together at the local inn, the Skinned Wyvern, our heroes have settled down for the night before setting off towards the Lake of Eels, to quest for the mysterious Pon-Ka Ron and the fragment of the Null Shard that, according to the elven researcher Thuriel Sunspire, it is said to possess. So you have all bedded down in your various rooms here at the Skinned Wyvern. They are small rooms. They're not quite, they're not luxurious, but they are functional and they are clean and they are comfortable.
Adequate.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems that this place tends to cater to mostly travelers who are only staying for a night or two, or potentially people who are staying, like, just for business purposes, travel through town, or maybe the odd, like, trapper selling their wares. Something akin to that.
Not a huge tourist destination.
From what you have seen of town, nope. It's always, from what you have seen, it has been mostly a kind of souped up trading post. Like, it's probably started as a trading post and then kind of built around the fact that people came here to trade a variety of animal and natural things that they acquired, and now it has grown. So, as you are all sleeping, you fade into your various REM states. Greg, you have some particularly interesting dreams this evening.
Ooh.
You have...
Whoa.
Yeah. You have been hearing a lot about Winton these days. Mainly because rumor is that there is a shard-touched artifact there. It's very close to the areas where you are going. So it's kind of been gnawing on the back of your brain. And what you dream about is a particular conversation that you had. You find yourself back in your memories while you sleep in a shabby little multi-storied building, which would not be multi-storied for perhaps humans, but for halflings, gnomes, goblins, small folk, definitely multi-storied. And you see amidst a variety of, like, obviously stolen and then discarded refuse, sitting on a broken chair that had, like, the legs, like, torn off and then reseated to a more comfortable height, is an older, larger goblin that you recognize as your father, Grask. And immediately next to Grask, standing with his signature sickle, which is a particularly nasty, jagged-looking thing, you see your brother, Shek. And you find yourself in a conversation you've been in many, many times. Grask looks down at you.
Greg, why don't you ever give anything to the grubby grabs? We need to build stronger gang. Always you are found off putting pieces of metal together, making things. Make things for us to get better and stronger.
I mean, you guys got that covered. I just making this stuff is more interesting.
Who cares about interesting? We are goblins here in Winton. We must have power. Without the power, we will be nothing. We scavenge like rats. We are not were-rats. We are goblins. Once we held mighty empire over this place. Now we are here in the bottom of the heap. You do nothing to help us. Why do you not help us?
I mean, and arguably I could be helping you. I mean, like, sometimes the things work, and it could be useful if it worked. I mean, I don't know.
Your brother pipes up.
Yeah, like that smoke bomb you made? All it did was make it so we couldn't see.
Well, I mean, yes, but somebody couldn't see, so it kind of worked. I just needed to try again.
And he kind of brings his sickle up and kind of like uses the tip to like pick something out of his teeth. You keep saying that every time. You do nothing right to help the family.
Okay, well, I mean, science doesn't happen the first time. I think.
Science. Here's all the science I need. And he takes his sickle and like sticks it into something else. That is obviously some rotted form of food. And you hear it squelch and tear into it. And he brings up whatever is on the end of it and just kind of bites into it. The pointy end goes into the other thing. That's what I need.
Yeah, well, yes. Yes, that is all you need.
And your father pipes up again. Why can't you be more like brother? Like Shek. Shek here, very strong, very proud to be goblin, doing much good for grubby grabs.
Well, I think there are a number of,
And you see your father just gets royally frustrated with you and starts picking various pieces of refuse from his throne area and just starts yelling at you in Goblin and chucking at them, and you scurry away. And you hear your brother's cackling laugh the entire time as you continue to dream on.
Yuck.
And so you all awaken, having had a fully rested evening at the
Yay.
Skinned Wyvern, so mark off a long rest and all such things. And you, one by one, awaken, leave your rooms, gather yourselves down in the tap room of the Skinned Wyvern. And you see, curled by the fire, is a very large, very brown dog that you know is Mark, and owned by the proprietor of the establishment here, Apriel. But the day is yours to do with as you wish. You see Adis being, as he comes down, a little introspective, and you see no sign of Paduk.
Which doesn't mean anything because the little fucker's invisible.
That's true.
Yeah.
Morning, Paduk.
Yeah, hi. I'm keeping a low profile.
Yep. I'm starting to learn that's what you do. Somebody has to, I guess.
Well, I don't know these people
It's
yet.
clearly not us.
I don't know these people
All
yet,
right.
so, I gotta watch myself. Old habits.
I mean, we don't know these people yet.
Yeah,
And
but
we're
you
leaving,
can't,
so
but
we're
you
not
can't
that
do
up.
what I can do. I can do this.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I mean, I could do that, just not for as long. If we're being honest, like, I can actually do that. I can also see you if I really wanted to.
Oh, well, that's fancy.
Yeah, I could do fancy things.
Does this mean
I know how to do stuff.
Can you see me now?
Not right now. I have
Oh.
to cast a spell.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I don't want to waste a spell on it.
All right. That's fair.
You have to be responsible.
Yeah, you
Use
do.
things in a smart way.
Totally.
And do stuff that's useful and beneficial
Yeah,
for,
you,
like, the
yeah.
misfits and stuff.
yeah, you gotta help out. I get that.
Speaking of,
Yeah, and I help out. I know how to help out. I help all the time.
Okay.
speaking of being responsible, should we get on the road? We don't need to stay here and meet people. We're leaving.
Right.
I think that's best.
Yep. We have to go. Oh, we have to go to the water. We're doing that. We're still doing that. That's what we're doing.
It's in our best interest.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go to the water.
All right. So you all pack up your gear. Apriel thanks you for your patronage, and you have some little breakfast. And then you are off on your way on the south road out of Bestville. As you head southward, you can see why the landscape is I've got it in chat with the Pikachus. Thank you, I've got it.
Yay, Pikachu!
As you head southward, you do see that the road does cross closer to the divide again, and you are reminded of the expanse of the river. It's just massive. Like, you can hear it from miles away. But then, indeed, the road curves a little bit more away from the river proper, heading down towards... Sorry. I've got it. Apologizes for their lateness, but he was just fitting Five Guys in his mouth, which is a valiant effort.
Yeah, you know,
And,
sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do.
And I wish that was happening to me, because I have not had dinner yet.
Shifty eyes.
Obviously referring to a hamburger and their deliciously cooked fries.
This raised eyebrow means nothing. What are you talking about?
Of course.
Obviously. What else could it possibly mean?
Nothing that I can think of. Anyway, you're on a road.
Now that we're really awkward.
That's life. You're
we're
on
the
road.
road.
Yeah.
Greg is trying to be helpful. Greg is going to try to point the way and look at the map with Adis. And, yep.
Cool.
I don't know whether Greg is being helpful or hurtful, but definitely being like, we're going this way, right? Yeah?
Definitely
What's
doing
that?
something.
Watch out. There's something over there.
Olive.
Yes.
With a passive insight of 14, you get that Greg is like really focusing on their fact that they are being helpful and contributing to the group today, like, and not in like an egotistical way, just in like a it peaks. You notice it.
So, Greg, which way are we going?
Well, I think so. We have to go to the lake, and I think on the map the lake is over there. But then I think in reality it's over there. Right? Are we? I don't. Hang on. Let me. If we turn it around. Yeah, because the town is there, so we're going that direction, away from the river. Yep.
Greg, make a survival check for me.
Yeah. This is where the helping happens. Yep.
Cool. With a 9, Greg, you are confident that the lake is that way.
Did one of us double check that?
Yeah.
I assume, yeah.
Olive already tried to.
With an 11,
much better.
With an 11, Olive, you know that Greg is looking at the map the wrong way.
Cool.
Not by much, but just enough to be like, they don't think it's back north or anything, but you're able to like recorrect your path as you go.
Defect will also take a crack at this. He'll activate Eagle Vision, just take a take in the land around him.
Yeah.
He will roll. 14.
Oh, Defect is doing much better than the rest of us.
With a 14 survival defect, you know that Olive has like recorrected your path along this road, making sure you don't take a particular offshoot that Greg was pretty sure was the way to go.
Right.
This is the part where we all follow Adis because he could never get lost.
But yeah, with Adis leading the way and Greg helping, you all make your way south into an area where the forest becomes less dark and scary and more like open and pleasant and chittering birds as opposed to like weird growls. It's a much more like, kid-friendly forest as opposed to...
Are there like berries and nuts to pick on their way?
Make a perception check. There very well could be.
There it goes. Feeling very perceptive.
With a 21, yes. There are berry bushes not too far off the path, in fact. Just some nice...
We'll pick some as we go by.
Yeah, you get a nice handful of blackberries. They're towards the end of their season as it is starting to get more into autumn and less into late summer. But,
sure.
Yeah.
These are delicious. Would you like some, Greg?
Yeah. They're not poison or anything, right?
No, they're blackberries.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like those. Thank you. Thanks.
And they won't even fill you up like good berries do.
Yeah, but now that they taste like strawberries, it's kind of cool. Before they were awful.
Yes. How
I
good
can't
they
believe
taste?
Adis forgot that you could make good berries taste good. That was just mean. Adis, did you do that on purpose? He's not listening.
Adis just
not.
kind of shrugs.
I mean, but how do they taste the second time through?
What? I don't taste them when I poop them. I'm sorry, but it was necessary.
That's fine.
No, but you did puke several of them the other day. So.
Oh. Well, I mean, it tastes like strawberry vomit. Have you never eaten enough strawberries to vomit?
No?
Oh.
That's a lot of strawberries.
I mean, maybe.
If you have that many strawberries, you can, preserve them and stuff for later. You don't need to, stuff them all down your gullet at once.
I mean, sure. I guess you could.
Blackberry.
Thanks.
So as you continue southwards, you notice a signpost along the way that seems to have multiple town names on it.
Ooh.
Or you assume them to be town names. You see that there's a few that are pinged up there. There is one for a town called Dragma, which seems to be the closest town. And then further away, there is one called Meccan. And then much farther away, there is one that is labeled Mandarian. And that's about all that's on this here signpost.
What direction are they in?
They're all southwards.
Oh.
They're
all in the same general direction.
Yeah, they're all pointing. It's like each town had somebody put a sign up with how far away it is. The closest.
They're not pointing like that and that. They're all in the same way.
No, not on this one. This seems to just be letting people know that this is the way to go for these 3 towns.
Got it.
Let's go that way.
Cool. Indeed. So you travel for a few days without incident, no problem. About 3 or 4 days go by. When you get to the next real signpost, you see that it is the first place where it splits off Meckel and Mandarian. Both still point south, but there's an offshoot road that is pointing to Dragma towards the east.
I should have asked this earlier, but do any of these towns do they ring a bell?
Make a history check, Defect.
All right.
I mean, Mandarian's on the map.
Yep, sure is.
Oh wow! Okay, 18.
Nice.
Mandarian rings a bell. That is the big city in progress that you passed through when you and Greg escaped Winton. And you passed through Mandarian on that caravan that you were acting as guards for, and then further on went down to Sewell. The other towns you are unfamiliar with.
Okay, all right.
What does the terrain look like toward the road toward Dragma? Is that going into the mountains, or is that just more pretty forest?
So from where you are, it is still mostly nicely forest, but it is becoming less dense forest and more like just a nice kind of open space to walk through. Like it's not dense and scary. It's just open and comfortable. And you're starting to understand, Olive, why this area is called the favored stretch, because it's very nice and pretty flat for the most part. It's easy going. It's not a lot of rocks or trip hazards or anything as you go. You do notice that the sign for Dragma is pointing like due east, like which is really roughly the direction of the Lake of Eels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think we should go that way.
Yep.
Let's
If
do
we're
it.
Sure.
it's not headed up into the mountains and we're south of those mountains, we should head east.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't see any mountains through these trees or whatever, but maybe if you get to like a more open space,
Sure.
you might be able to.
Defect, do you want to climb a tree? Go look if we can see the mountains.
Is Defect the one we want to climb trees?
Defect's very strong and has really good eyeballs.
He does have good eyeballs, that is true.
You have a very strong ocular vision.
He's
Are
also
there
very
tall
heavy for
trees?
trees.
Yeah, there's tall trees. You want to climb one?
Yeah,
Great. Give me an athletics check.
that'd be nothing for me. Okay, 13.
Cool. Yeah, easily enough. You find a tree that's got branches out and you climb up. A few squirrels and birds get pissed off, but whatever. But you climb all the way up a good 30 feet in the air. And like the top of the tree is starting to sway a bit because Defect's a pretty heavy individual. But you're up there. And
Nice.
go ahead, make a perception check with your eagle eyes.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
So
It's a comedy episode.
on a nat
Ada
one.
Sleeves, and it's a comedy episode.
on a nat 1 Defect, some of those birds you pissed off decide to really start like come back at you, and
Yeah.
they're like dive bombing you, and you're like, get away, but they're like dive bombing you, and a squirrel just comes up and like bites your ankle, and you and let go and kind of kick the squirrel out, but you end up accidentally breaking the branch you were standing on, and you like you're able to catch yourself real quick without taking any damage, but you feel a little embarrassed.
I like to imagine like
The mighty Defect felled by birds and
like,
squirrels.
branches falling down, like just moving, and then also a squirrel just like being kicked out of the tree.
Yes.
No, the squirrel won the fight. The squirrel is fine.
I thought you said I kicked it.
You kicked
You
the
tried
branch
to
you were
kick it.
on. You tried to kick it and broke the branch you were on. The squirrel just jumped to another branch. It's perfectly fine. In fact,
We're
it's
gonna
chittering,
laugh.
and its chittering sounds suspiciously like laughing.
Oh.
Aww.
Defect, you okay?
Yes, just fine. Coming down, and I'll climb the rest of the way down.
Did you see anything?
And I'll look at Olive and say, yes, I did.
Olive,
Let's
you
see a
see bird shit on Defect's head. Big
Should we
white
turn?
streak.
That means good luck. So
Yeah.
definitely. But we are in the right direction, so let's just keep moving this way.
All right.
So, you've come to this fork, one that leads south and one that leads east.
We are going east.
We'll
Okay.
go east.
All right. You travel on another day or so, and you come to an area
Here's a
where the
stupid question.
Yeah.
Hey, Padook, can you fly up and see what's far ahead of us?
Oh, yeah, sure, I can do that.
We have a flying creature with us.
Oh.
Sure, I'll help out. Happy to help.
Just fly up there and see what you can see.
Right.
He comes out of invisibility. He's visible when like there aren't other people around. So like, he's just been like on Adas's shoulder. They've been having a conversation. So he flitters up, comes back down a few minutes later. Why doesn't someone roll me a perception check for Paduk? Paduk is officially a sidekick for those of you at home, so he has a full stat block and everything, full character sheet.
He does. What are we looking for?
Perception.
Perception. All right, he gets a +7 to perception.
Mm-hmm.
You want to click it? Or should I click it?
I did get a click.
I did.
I need
Oh,
to.
clicked it.
Apparently,
It sent it to me. I'll adjust the character sheet.
Okay, cool.
Paduk rolled
It's a
really
26.
well. Paduk rolled a 26.
Nice. Thanks, Paduk.
Yeah. So Paduk comes back down and he's like, "Oh yeah, like it's like we're definitely heading towards the lake. I can see it from here. It's huge, and there's big mountains out on the other side of it, and there's a town, probably like I don't know how many, like I don't know. I saw some kind of town, like very tiny, like it is very small. So it's got to be at least like 2 days, I guess. I had to go up pretty high to see it, but it's there. So I guess we're going in the right spot. Yeah. So good. Anything else I can do
Yeah.
for you?
No.
I think we're just going to keep walking that way. If that's, just wanted to make sure we were going the right way, and there's a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of trees blocking our vision, and birds.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, no problem here. And Paduk just kind of readjusts his little gold twig headband and his symbol of Elona, and flitters down and rejoins Adis's shoulder. And Adis just kind of nods, and you all carry on ever more that direction. A couple days go by, and you leave the forest behind you and come to pasture lands. Big grassy fields, and you start finding a couple of farmsteads along the way. Yeah. And you see, just as you're passing through, that the farmsteads are all fairly close to one another, but they're not like right up against each other. Lots of vegetables growing, active workers out in the harvest. The majority of these workers are actually halflings.
Oh.
So they are small folk. And they note your passing and just kind of wave, some of them politely. Greg and Defect, you definitely get a couple of second glances, but nobody does anything to like bother you. Passing through the variety of fields and farmlands, you come to a small village, presumably. It's got a wooden wall around it, probably 15 feet tall, kind of like, much like Southbrook. It's like upended trees that have been carved to have like points on one end, so they stick up. And there's a couple of open doors and a couple of people in like leather armor as you approach. They're like, hi, welcome to Dragma. What's your business all about? Who are you?
I'm Greg, and these are the Misfits.
We're
There's
going to the
Defect.
lake.
And Olive, and
Oh.
Adis, and we're going to the lake.
Are you looking for fisher jobs, or?
We have to find the Ponca Ra.
They look at each other and start laughing. Oh, Polka? Yeah, okay. Well, have fun. Don't cause any
Thanks.
trouble.
I cannot guarantee that.
And they just keep laughing as you enter into town. And entering this town...
Before we, if I may, before we leave them, can I ask them why they're laughing?
Yeah. They look surprised that you speak, but it's like, well, Polka's an old fairy tale. Like, you tell kids about Polka to keep them behaving. You think you can find
There
it?
has to be some truth to it.
Every so often, somebody comes around and says, "Oh yeah, I saw Polka swimming beneath the lake or whatever," but I don't believe it. I've never seen it. The other individual, who happens to be a woman, comes up. Yeah, my dad told me those stories when I would misbehave too. Don't believe a word of it.
Well, I mean, lots of things that should be stories end up real. Have you ever seen a flumph? That shouldn't be real, but they are, and they're kind of nice, a little chatty.
No idea
Weird.
what you're talking about, but
Exactly.
but good luck. I'm sure some
Well-
boat will be happy to hire themselves out to you.
If it's a fairy tale, then there's nothing to worry about us getting hurt, right?
Not worried about that. Just don't want you causing trouble.
Again, cannot guarantee that.
We'll do our best.
Well, mind you do. And you can enter the town without issue. So you enter what is obviously primarily a fishing village. Like, you see there's buildings set up all around, heavy like fisher motif. Like, there's a couple of places that deal in like tackle or bait or in like net repair. It's not like super small. Like, it's a thriving little town, but it also has that aroma of fish. But you are here. Everybody seems to be wearing simple, kind of just basic clothing, and like a lot of like fishmonger aprons with like various fish parts and guts and whatever remnants.
What time of day is it?
It's about midday or so.
Can we go down to the shore of the lake and look around?
Yeah. As I've got it, says Spoot is going to be sad he missed out on this place.
Yep.
Yep, he is.
So much fish.
That's true.
But Greg says we can't fill the bag of holding with eels.
No.
So
Well, yeah, so you head
Alrighty,
on
Spoot.
down. Oh, G. Ryan. Hi, welcome to chat. Nice to see you again. But yeah, so you head on down towards the lake. And there's a big dock there with a bunch of there's not many ships like in right now. Presumably they are out fishing lake, but you do see some like out in the lake. Why don't everybody can go ahead and give me a perception check to see what you see on this massive lake.
Hey.
all right.
I can do it.
All right. Greg, with a natural 20, you can see that the lake is fairly shallow for as far as you can see. Like, it's pretty shallow right now, like maybe 8-10 feet this close to shore, and at least as far as you can see, it doesn't go too much deeper than that. So it must get deeper farther out. You and Olive, both with high perception rolls, notice that they are the ships seem to be more like flat-bottomed trawler types as opposed to like full sailing vessels, based on the one or two that's like on the dock in dry dock kind of deal. You see that there are kids playing down on the shore. There's obvious like fishermen, just like with a rod and reel kind of thing. And you both see one pull in a long wriggling eel and kind of hold it up and stuff it in a little basket by his side as he unhooks it. Bringing it in, you see massive tall mountains on the far side of the lake, like beyond a forest. Well, actually, you don't see across the lake. That's totally a lie. So you don't see across the lake, but you can see mountain peaks just vaguely in the distance with those ridiculously high rolls. There are people running around. You see, like what an individual who appears to be like a little gnome with a very long beard, sitting on a stool at a desk, kind of like in the dock area, or like one of those little like standing desks, but he's got a stool for it.
Do we see like any like older kids like with a boat that they're playing in? Or
Not
are they like
really. Like the kids are like younger and they're like playing in the sand as kids do, like building a castle, kicking it down, crying about it.
There's not like some, preteens running around like with a rowboat or anything.
No, not here.
It was worth a try.
Yeah.
Can we ask the gnome if there is someone who rents boats or takes trips that are not that wouldn't disrupt their we don't want someone who's like fishing every day to feed their family, but someone who has maybe some leisure time who might like to take boat trips.
Sure. So you go up to this gnome with this intent in mind. And what you see is this thin gnome sitting on this stool. He's got a long, graying, well-kept beard, but no mustache. And a totally bald or perhaps shaven head. And he kind of like looks up at you with these gray eyes that, even though they're gray, seem to sparkle with life. Oh, well, hi there. My name's Gribbledoo Granitestone. Much obliged. Now, what is it I can help y'all with? Y'all must be newcomers to Dragma.
We are at that.
Yeah. Hi, Gribbledoo. I'm Greg.
Strong name, I like that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm the dockmaster here. And, so what is it y'all are looking about today?
Well, we were sort of interested in going out on the lake, but we don't want to take anyone away from their livelihood. Is there, either some kids who might take some people out on a boat, or like maybe someone who's older? We don't want to take someone away from like their daily fishing if that's their.
Well, what sort of business are you doing on the lake? I mean, there's 4 of you here, so that's requires a vessel of a certain size.
True.
I mean, we could also do 2 smaller boats
Also,
if we really needed
when
to.
you
We
say-
have to go to the middle of the lake.
I want to go swimming.
In the middle of the lake. Do you realize
Yep.
that the lake is... Well, we're not quite at the widest part, but it's over 100 miles wide here.
It's a big lake.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe not the middle of the lake, but wherever the Ponkara was last seen.
It's fun to
Ponkara.
laugh at.
Oh, Pokhara. Oh, that takes me back. I saw it once, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How long ago?
Old Polka saw that thing about 200 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a long way off. But, I swear, I did see it breach the water. It was massive. 80 feet long at least. Had to be. Saw it take down something. I don't know what. Maybe it was eating. I don't know. But I saw it.
Was that the most recent time anyone saw it?
I mean, that's the most recent time I saw it. Some people come by claiming that they've seen it more recently, but I don't know any off the top of my head.
We should find that out, and we want to go to there.
Well, tell you what. I will be happy to see if I can arrange something for you with that particular endeavor in mind. But as a standard kind of rate around here, I can probably set you up with someone that you could hire a ship at about a standard operating procedure is for about a week, which, given the size of the lake, to get out everywhere, look around a little bit, it's going to take some time, but it's a flat week rate. And that's a 50 gold charged for use of a vessel. That includes crew and all that stuff.
And we sleep on the boat and everything?
Yeah, you'd have to if you're hiring it to go out to the middle of the lake. You can't get out there in a day.
Fair.
Sure. And how much to buy a boat?
To buy a boat, that's many thousands of gold.
Okay, just checking.
We don't need a boat. We don't know how to. Do you know how to sail a boat?
I don't know. How hard could it be? It's a
People
lake. It's
spend
not
the-
the ocean.
People spend their whole lives learning how to sail on this lake. Well, humans do. I learned how to do it pretty well, and I probably started learning when I was about 70 or so, and then I did it for about 60 years, and then I became dockmaster.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it was before the town was built.
Does the lake really do that much stuff? I mean, it's a lake.
Well, yeah, but it's filled with, mostly eels. Like, that's where it gets the name from. But, yeah, it's pretty deep in places. But there's all kinds of stuff in there. Like, people have, like, dug up ruins and stuff. And there's little islands all around in there. All kinds of stuff.
This sounds very cool.
It's a fun time.
I think we should get a boat, guys.
Yeah, I'm happy to arrange to set up a rental with someone. I can ask around when the ships come back in.
Sure.
Happy to do that.
And if we're looking for Pon Ra, who do we ask?
I think we asked the eels.
Well,
No, but like, who saw it last? Do we just go to the bar and say, who saw Pon Ra last?
I think
Do you
they
think
will laugh.
everyone will tell us something nonsense?
you're welcome
'Cause
to
this seems
you're
to be-
welcome to ask around. There's a lot of rumors, but you're welcome to ask around.
I was going to stick my head in the lake and ask the eels.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. Sure, go for it. Well, so
I was going to wait till we get out on the lake. I'm not going to stick my head in 6
can I
inches of water and ask
can I
the eels.
assume you're gonna make your way to one of the many fine establishments we have here? I'm also happen to be on the town council, so I can direct you towards a reputable establishment to while away your time while you're waiting for here, or you can enjoy the many other wonders of town. But I'll send word to the tavern either way.
Yeah, we're, yep, I guess, yes, we'll stay somewhere.
But we are on a time crunch.
Yeah.
Sure,
Well, we're
but
not going to go out before morning.
yeah, the ships need to come in, and then they're gonna have to unload and do all their stuff tonight.
Yeah.
So, really, the earliest could be. The earliest might be tomorrow morning, but it might take a day to find somebody. But I'll do my best.
Right.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
Great. So, why don't you end up? Yeah, feel free to explore town. There's lots of nice people around. But why don't you end up at Doter's Drinks and that's
Doters?
Doter's, yeah. The proprietress is one Cursor Thensdoter.
Right?
Okay.
She's a very nice human woman. And she's actually also on the council with me. But she's a good representative and a solid human individual. So
All right.
feel free to check them out.
Okay. I guess that's what we're doing then. Yep, we're getting drinks.
Well, Olive's going to walk down to the water where the kids are playing
Mhm.
and go for a swim.
Cool.
Like, just as Olive, not turning into anything, just, swimming out a bit.
So you're just actually swimming. You're not turning.
Actually swimming. I'm not
Okay.
turning into a sea creature, just actually swimming.
Yeah, you swim out there. No problem.
Alright, if I stick my face in the water, do I see some sea life?
Make a perception check at disadvantage.
13.
It's hard to make out.
And I keep swimming.
Okay.
Can I can I cast a ritual while treading water?
No, because you're actively having to like tread water or sink.
Fine. I will use a spell slot to cast Speak with the Animals and kind of stick my head in and say, "Hey, eels!"
So you cast.
If I turn into a sea creature, I can't talk. So
Sure. So you cast Speak with Animals.
yep.
Go ahead. Roll. Just roll a straight luck check. You want a high number. D20.
Well, I got a 6.
There
So...
No eels respond to your random questioning, unfortunately.
Swim. I will swim around for 10 minutes and periodically just stick my head in the water and.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess this time of day or this area, there's not many eels around, perhaps.
Fair. All right, I will.
But you do notice it never really gets deeper than like 12 feet in this area that you're swimming around in.
All right, swim back to the shore and dry off and put my clothes back on. Are there boats? Are boats starting to come in?
No. It's still like midday. Like you're not gonna.
Fair.
It's gonna be hours before ships start returning.
My next thought was to try to talk to a recently captured eel.
I mean, you do see the one guy fishing off the beach over there.
No. No, I'd rather wait for the boats to come in and talk to an eel that's recently been further out in the lake. Because the guy's catching eels in 12 feet of water. He's not. Those are probably not my.
Who knows?
Yeah. Eels
Target
no
audience.
depths. Yeah. Okay.
Before we leave,
Yes.
I want to ask Gribbledew.
Yep.
Have you seen a halfling named Bodo?
Well, not that I know about, but we do have quite a few halflings in town, but most of them tend to stay out on their farms. Good relationship between the fisher folk and the farm folk, you understand. I don't
He
think
wouldn't have been a farm folk. He's fancy like.
He's kind of a jerk. I mean, he's very charming, but then he tried to explode me and my friends a couple times now.
Oh, that doesn't sound like anyone I know.
But he's like a snappy dresser. Like, he wouldn't look like a farmer. He would look like someone who was, like, way overdressed to be here in this village.
We haven't had anyone fancy come through in, years, really.
And he also travels with brutes who look worse than we do.
Well, the town guards keep
Much worse.
keep most of the brutes out. If they look like trouble, we keep our eye on them.
Nobody shady lately. Good. Good. Thanks, Gribbledew. You're
Yeah.
old. How old are you?
I'm about 230.
Oh, wow. So you saw
Well,
folk
no,
around
no,
here
that's
like
not true.
little.
No, I'm about 260. No, 280.
I see that time means a lot to you.
Well, I mean, ever since I started to go gray, I just thought, why bother keeping track? Not a lot of gnomes here. Back where I'm from, like, people keep track of all those things. But, I mean, I've seen so many. I'm one of the few gnomes in town, so it just hasn't really been an issue.
I mean, that's fair. So, like, you basically know everybody's grandparents. Grandparent. Great-grandparents?
I used to come here and fish on this very beach before this town was even around.
That's really old.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And he kind of strokes his beard.
I'm trying to decide if Greg has met a gnome before.
You've definitely seen a couple of gnomes. Perhaps you haven't
Cool.
had any meaningful conversations with them, but you've seen them. They exist.
So do you like make stuff or do you fish and write stuff down?
Oh well, these days I'm the dock master, and as the dock master, I'm also a member of the town council, representing the dock workers and the fishmongers, and voicing their concerns to the town council. So I'm pretty busy most of the time,
That's pretty busy.
but I do like to crochet in my downtime.
So what?
Yeah, so I take yarn and I crochet things for people, especially for like the winter months. So like I crochet like mittens and hats and scarves. Sometimes I do socks, but usually socks are like a knitted thing. So I haven't learned to knit yet. But once I really get my head around crocheting, I think I'll try knitting because they're kind of close. But I've only been crocheting for like 12 years, so I've really only scraped the beginnings of it. So once I get it really good, then I'll do knitting.
Is he wearing a ridiculous hat?
No.
Interesting. I
You're
never.
bald.
I guess that's a thing. The last time I met one of you, he had a white beard, and he made this. And I pull out the tin flower that was insane that I tried to make and I failed at, that this gnome made. So
Yeah, that looks
can
gnomish.
you make stuff like this?
Nah, that was never my bag.
Oh, so different gnomes do different things.
Do different goblins do different things?
Well, I do. So, yes?
Well, there you go.
Oh,
If everybody always did the same thing, then that would be pretty boring, right?
yeah.
Nothing would ever get done if
Cool.
everybody did the same thing all the time. Who would do the other stuff?
I don't know.
You're young. You'll figure it out.
Ah, okay. I guess we're gonna go get drunk now.
Have fun!
Goodbye!
Thank you for your help.
I recommend the red ale. That's my favorite.
Understood.
Thanks for the tip.
Sure. And I will send a message your way once I find a ship for you.
Great.
And you toddle it off. Are you heading over to Doter's Drinks?
Do we have anything else to do in
Yeah.
town until before the
Nothing.
ships come back? Anyone? We did all our shopping in Bestville.
Paduk flitters down to your ears and kind of amongst the group as he's riding on Adis' shoulders. You hear him. I like that guy. He seems fun.
Yeah. He's old.
He's not that old.
How old are you?
Ah,
Hmm,
time's not really something you measure where I'm from.
weird.
You can't see it because he's invisible, but invisibly, Paduk just kind of shrugs.
Fair.
So you make your way, following the directions given to you by Gribbledoo, to Doter's Drinks. It's fairly lively, even for it being the middle of the day. It seems like people are having their lunch and kind of socializing a bit there. It's a fairly large one-story building, pretty expansive. People carousing in it. You open the door and nobody really pays too much attention. A couple eyes go up and notice you, but nobody really pays attention to you. But you head on up to the bar, where you see a shorter, heavy-set woman, kind of long brown hair in very elaborate braids. And she's like, "Welcome to Doter's Drinks. My name is Kersa. How can I help you? You're new in town, aren't you? What are you looking
We
for?
are.
Are you looking for food, for drinks, for rooms?"
Yes?
I think all three eventually.
Wonderful. Well, what can I get you to drink to start off with? I
you're-
recommend the Imperial Ale. We don't really have an empire, we just call it that because it's a bit darker. Makes it seem fancy. But it's good.
I mean, Gribbledoo said the red ale, but I don't usually like
Ah, you
ale.
know
Usually I
Gribbledoo.
like sweet things.
Sweet things. Well, I've got some raspberry syrup I could stir into one of the lighter ales.
That sounds weird or good. I don't know which.
Try it.
Okay.
I've been known to do it from time to time.
Sure, I'll do that.
All right. And for the
This is
rest
the
of you?
berry episode.
Yes, it's all about the berries. I'll try your imperial ale.
All right.
Make that 2.
Very well. Oh, I didn't know you. I didn't know your friend here was a drinker.
I know. It's it's a new development.
All right. Well, I'm all for it.
We're corrupting him. It's fine.
So it's the various drinks you get here. It's 5-6 copper for your various beverages, and like they're decent. Like they're made. If you like a nice hoppy brew, then the Imperial is very satisfying. The lighter kind of lager-esque sort of thing that she mixes with the berry, it's a weird flavor, but there is a sweetness to it that comes out on the tail end. So it seems she knew what she was doing.
Good.
Paduke just kind of like says, I'm just going to sit right here on the edge of your glass, Defect, so don't mind me. And you can see
the little man on the glass. Is that what we're doing?
so
here?
Paduke is invisible, but Defect, what you see when you look down at your glass or your tankard or whatever,
I'm betting the liquid level goes down.
you see like every so often it's like a little something like scoops in, and it's a little like invisible scoop that goes through, and then you hear every so often. Anytime you go to take a drink, you feel like a quick like weight fly off of your drink. It's like he picked you because he knows you don't normally do this. So he didn't feel bad about taking it from you.
I accept.
That's cute.
This is fine.
Yeah.
All right. Looking around the bar, do we see someone of the that clearly spends all of their time in the tavern who might be already drunk and potential to tell rambling tales?
So
Yeah, the gossip monger.
It's a grizzled like pirate.
So what I would like here, each of you can make an investigation check, and what you get will determine what information each of you receives.
Oh dear.
And from who.
Oh damn!
Oh.
Look at us.
Look at
Alright.
us. We're investigatives.
Yeah, not perceptive, investigative.
No perceptive. Great.
Numbers say
perception
otherwise
for
on my
you.
character sheet.
Well,
but-
y'all did really well with Defect getting a 21, Olive a 19, and Greg a 27. So, Olive,
Yeah.
you hear a lot of people. This is a popular topic. It seems like everybody has like a Pokaran story, but you notice that they all call it Poka.
Polka.
Poka. Like it's
Okay.
all like Poka stories, like the lake monster Poka. And you hear that like legend says that once it was a creature of the sea, and this like kind of like grizzled old man is like, it was trapped in the lake by the gods for being a ravaging, troublesome sea beast. And it raged at captivity for 100 years, breaking apart the land, making the lake bigger, before it finally sank beneath the waves, and now only rises to feed or quench its desire to destroy. This old guy just kind of keeps on going.
Meanwhile, you also hear this like younger fellow come up and rebuttal him and says, "Aye, that it is. And its lair is littered with stolen plunder from ancient times, they say, which it guards jealously beneath the depths of the lake in the deepest parts."
Like a dragon?
Ooh. Sure, like a dragon. And then this woman who's sitting with them both is like, "I just heard the poor thing's lonely and longing for company, since it's the only one of its kind."
Aww.
And the two men just kind of scoff at her. They're like, "Ah, come on. Where's the fun in that?" And, so this table of people are just like hashing it out. Defect and Greg, you two are drawn to a more conspiratorial table. Greg especially. You notice them and elbow Defect, and you both kind of focus in. And you hear this dark clothed man telling this other hooded guy that they've heard rumor that there's a small shrine upon an island of 3 trees that has been sanctified to some long lost god that holds the secret of the creature's lair. So somewhere on the island there's this lake, or somewhere in the lake there's this island of 3 trees. They don't know quite where it is, but it's got to be somewhere out there. If they can find that, they'll find the secrets and get to the lair and get the treasure. And, there's very conspiratorial kind of edge to it. But that is what you all discover listening around for a few hours as time passes.
As
So
it
we
gets
have
in
some
toward
options.
As it gets in toward late afternoon, Olive wants to go back to the lake, when boats are coming in.
Yeah, easy enough to do.
She wants to talk to the eels in the nets.
Cool.
They're just gonna scream at you to help them.
You go
Probably.
up to one of the barge type trawlers that's just come in, and there are tanks of barrels of eels that they are just kind of loaded up. They're not in nets because then they would be dead.
Sure.
So it's like they have barrels of water that are closed off that they're just rolling out and onto the deck. But they're all closed up.
Hey, can I talk to your eels?
What? No, you can't talk to our eels. You want to buy our eels?
Are they alive still?
That's why they're in the barrel. Got to keep them fresh.
I will buy a live eel.
Sell them by the barrel.
I don't need a barrel of eels.
Well, then go to a fishmonger if you want 1 eel.
Okay, fine.
You just want to borrow an eel. Don't take. You
Borrow
can
an
still
eel.
sell it later.
What am I gonna do with a barrel of eels?
Talk to one and then just push it over. Ah! So do you head over to one of the fishmongers?
Does anyone have an open tank of eels? Or does
Seems,
everyone have eels in barrels?
it seems to be pretty standard procedure to have them be barrels of eels. Which also is true in real life.
Sure. Okay, fine. So yes, I will follow the eel delivery to some fishmonger.
Yep, easy enough to do. They go into the eels, or into the fishmongers. There's a number of them. Roll a d20 for me.
Hen.
All right, cool. You follow them into this one establishment. This guy buys a couple of barrels of eels, and then has a little shop boy who rolls the barrels into the back.
I'm gonna talk to the shop boy first. Be like, "Hey, kid,
Hi. Can I help you? Sorry, I need to do this, or else I'm gonna be in trouble.
Don't let me stop you. By all means, take.
Okay,
me
thanks. And he rolls the barrel away and
I'll
doesn't
follow
come
him.
back.
I follow him,
Sorry, you can't come back here. This is the shop area.
but I want to talk to your eel.
Then you need to talk to Micah.
Fine.
So he like rolls off, and this large kind of heavyset man with one arm comes over. Ah, you need some fish? Is that what you need?
I would like
a. Name's Mike, by the way.
Hi, Micah. My name's Olive, and I would like to buy a live eel in a bucket.
Sure. Just one eel?
One eel.
All right. 1 eel, 3 coppers.
Very good. I will give the man 3 coppers and take my eel in a bucket.
So he doesn't have a bucket, but he like reaches in and grabs a wriggling eel and gives it to you.
What do I have that I might put an eel in? I'm carrying a mess kit. Presumably there's a bowl or a pot in there.
No, it's like a little tin like mess kit. Like it's not like a deep well of things. Greg has a big cooking pot in their bag of holding.
Hey, Greg, can I borrow the cooking pot?
But Greg's not with you.
I didn't come with you.
So there's this guy is holding out a wriggling eel to you.
All right, I'm gonna take the eel from him.
Yep.
Holding my eel.
Yep.
I'm gonna attempt to talk to the eel.
Okay.
Hey.
So
Were
you
you caught today?
you cast Speak with Animals?
I cast Speak with Animals again.
Okay. So you cast Speak with Animals, and you immediately hear, "Oh my god, I can't breathe! I can't breathe! Ah, I can't breathe! I'm dying! Ah, let go of me! Put me in the water! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I'm freaking out!"
I'm gonna take out my water skin and sprinkle some water on it.
That's not helping! I need to be in the water! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe!
Alright, I will,
It's a fish, remember.
I know, but I don't have a bucket. Sure. Okay, are we still near the lake?
Yeah, it's not too far.
Alright, we're gonna run down to the lake with my eel.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold on to the eel
Sure.
in the water.
All right. All right. Do 2 things for me. 1, roll a d20, just a straight d20. Okay. And then roll a dexterity check for me. So that was a 10 and a 9. Cool.
Yeah. My eel gets away, doesn't it?
So you see the eel is like, and it's starting to wriggle less. Can't fuck this. And then you plunge it into the water, and you're like, ha! And it's
Do you have a net in my Paco stuff? I'm going to use the net to help contain the eel in the water.
Do you do this before you plunge it in or after?
Yes, I'm putting the eel in the net and the net in the water.
Cool. So you like pull a net out and like dip it in it, and so now there's an eel underwater in a net that you've got.
Yes. So
Okay.
now I'm going to cast Speak with the Animals again.
Okay. I would say like you probably still have like 3 minutes of the spell left, but you can cast it again.
If I have 3 minutes left, then sure. It's a 10-minute duration.
Sure.
Okay, sure. So and take a deep breath, stick my
Yeah.
head in the water next to the eel,
Yep.
and ask him if he's seen the Punkara.
Okay, so Olive, who speaks through air, sticks your head in to the water and
Yeah.
somehow, because magic is magic, the eel understands what the fuck you're talking about.
Of course.
The spell says,
And you
"Make it
can understand the fucking eel. And it's like, I don't know what that is, but I'd really like to not be in this thing again. Can you let me out of this thing? What is this thing? I want to get out of this thing.
Looking for a very large creature underwater. Have you seen anything like that?
There's lots of large creatures underwater. What are you like? What you got? You got to be better.
I'm looking for something that maybe has a horde like a dragon. Eels
I don't
aren't
know what
dragons are.
I don't know what that is.
I'm looking for a pile of like old shiny things and a really enormous creature that guards it.
I don't know. Never seen that, but it could be out there.
What part of the lake are you from?
The wet part?
Eels are not very intelligent. Damn it.
No, it's a fucking eel.
Yeah.
So can I go now? Can you let me out of this thing?
No, I'm not done talking to you.
Oh.
I don't know what else to ask though, other than to be nasty to it because it's Neil.
It's not his fault he's an eel.
It's true. It's not his fault that he's Neil. But I've saved him. I've just saved him from certain death.
He just knows he couldn't breathe, and now he's able to breathe but can't do anything. He's just kind of like swimming in a circle.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard? Do the other eels talk about a really big creature? Do eels tell stories?
Well, not really. When you're a little eel, you just kind of watch out for bigger eels, and so you just kind of do that forever.
This would not look like an eel. This would look like something that is not eel-like.
I don't know. We stay away from other fish too. Like, there's things, but sometimes they don't really bother you. There's, I don't know. Like, I've seen bigger things than me. The thing that swallowed me up was a bigger thing. It took my whole school.
Going to take the eel in the net back to the tavern.
Okay. So your spell wears off just as you lift it out, and it goes, I can't breathe. And then your spell ends, so you just have a wriggling eel.
Wriggling eel. I take the eel back to the hotel, the tavern.
The hotel, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. And I'm going to ask Kursa if she can cook the eel for our dinner.
Sure, I'll add it to the pot. No problem.
Bought an eel.
That is like.
That is some nature
Whoa.
shit right there.
It's what happens in nature. We eat them.
She takes
Whoa.
she takes the eel and disappears into the kitchen.
Thanks.
Whoa.
Alright, guys. Apparently, we're having eel stew for dinner.
Is that a thing?
I think so. I mean, food eats it.
I mean, yeah, Spood eats it. I'll try it, I guess. I just don't think. I don't know. Last time I tried eel. Nah. I don't want to be rude, but it was kind of gross.
Well, hopefully they have better ways of cooking it here because the eel was not helpful.
So you killed it?
It's a food fish.
That's serious.
It's a food fish.
I didn't know you had it in you, Olive.
It was caught for food.
You scare me a
mean-
little bit now, Olive.
Ha
Just a
ha
little.
ha ha.
I just want to take a moment to reflect on this eel's life story. This poor eel managed to live its life for however long until one day it and everybody it knew was swallowed up by this crazy thing that then shoved it into a cold, dark barrel with all of its friends where they all freaked out. And then they were put into another place where they could swim around a little bit and kind of had some light. And then this massive hand comes down, pulls it out, and it can't breathe for a good like 3 minutes, while another hand rushes it through, puts it in another container, but allows it to breathe, interrogates it, and then gets fed up with it, brings it out where it slowly begins to suffocate before being chopped up to death for whatever food comes.
Olive is the most cold-hearted
Harsh.
player on this campaign.
Yeah, I mean that's
That is brutal.
the dark side of nature is what just happened.
This is-
If this
this
is
is
what
the
nature is.
This is the
It was on
circle
the
of life,
verge going
guys.
back.
Whoa.
No, it's totally legit and like it's
This
a
is the
fucking
circle
eel,
of
but
People eat eels.
yeah, and they're tasty. As G. Ryan says, that poor, poor, stupid eel.
Well, Olive, we
Now that you've
found,
murdered an eel.
that
And-
perhaps
And got
Olive,
us some dinner.
we found out that there is perhaps an island on this lake with 3 trees. Oh, yeah, I'm keeping it, between the 3, well, 4, if Adis is still there.
And-
Um,
And the Sprite.
Adis is listening.
okay.
Presumably,
And the
Paducah
Sprite on
as
your
well.
cup.
Yes.
Paducah over
So
might be
there's
drunk by
a-
now.
There is an island with 3 trees which we should find. For on that island, there may be a shrine of some sort that can help locate the polka.
Certainly more productive than talking to the eel.
Yes, it is.
Who'd have thunk
Yeah.
it?
I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
But what I
Could
don't
have gotten
understand
lucky.
is- Where
So
could it
how
be,
do
though?
we find?
It's a
an
big
island?
lake, and even they don't seem to know where it is.
But maybe someone who spends all of their life in a boat would know.
A grizzled lake pirate?
Yes.
Perhaps.
Because, I mean, the people who are in the bar in the afternoon are clearly not fisher people.
Hey, Paducah, how far can you fly in a day?
Well, I guess kind of far.
40
Well, I
feet.
mean,
He has a speed of 40 feet.
like, if we went on the water and then you flew around a little further to look around, do you think you could look at the islands and see if one looks like the one with the 3 trees?
Well, I'd rather not just fly randomly around.
Well, maybe not randomly. I bet we could create a search pattern of some kind.
Well, no, because I don't want to fly and then come back to the ship and then can't find the ship. Because I can fly, but you get tired walking, I get tired flying.
Yeah.
If we're on a boat and I go and you see an island and we can't dock at it or whatever, I could fly out to the island and take a little look see. That's okay, but I just don't want to be flying
Flying
for
around.
miles and miles.
Sure,
without
yeah,
a boat.
no, but yeah, okay. So staying sort of within just a short flight you could do, maybe within sight, but a little ways ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm total yeah. I mean, I've come to with you all to help and see stuff. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
Do you swim, Paducah?
I know how to swim. I've gone swimming. It's nice.
At least one of us does.
Hmm.
When you're a sprite, though, you got to be careful about where you swim,
Fair.
and especially if you're visible. Because not so much with big fishies. That's why we tended to stick to small streams that were very shallow.
Yeah, you probably look a lot like a tasty insect, don't you?
I'm bigger than insects. I am.
But to
I am six
like
and a
a
half
fish.
inches tall. I will have you know.
But to like a fish, you'd probably look like a bigger, tastier version of what they eat.
I mean, probably, but still. I don't make fun of your height.
Right, fine. Is our eel ready yet?
Eventually, you are brought out like a meal that comes with the rooms that you buy here, which the rooms here cost 2 silver. So, like, that's fine. And the meal comes out. It's like a porridge, with like pieces of fish on top. The eel that you brought in comes out like takamori style, like on a stick that's been grilled and roasted with like a sauce. It's very tasty. It's simple, but tasty. There's veggies.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah. But
Hey,
yeah.
everyone have a piece of eel yet?
I wish you had asked his name, because his name was actually Eelmer, but you didn't ask. So
I didn't ask.
Lost opportunity. All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
now Eelmer's long gone.
Aww.
But he's delicious.
He is, yeah. So you all eat up. Eventually, you get a message from Gribbledoop. Whoops. Gribbledoo sends a message that he was successful in finding a ship. Be at the docks an hour before dawn.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I guess we should call it an early night then if we're getting on a boat early in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess we can. Or we can do some more character development.
What would you like to develop?
Well, this is the comedy episode, so I think we need to
Defect
practice our
return to
stand-up.
Olive.
Dude, I already
Defect
talked to the
returns
eel. I don't know what
Olive.
else you want me to do.
And what Defect wants to ask Olive, where did she go during that time she went away from us?
And Olive, as you begin to regale them with that story, we're going to take a break. So think about your response to that glorious question. And we will be right back in about 5 minutes. We're going to do a little bio break. We will see you all right back here then. So thank you all very much. We'll be right back.
crap, I need to put my earphones
Hello, everyone. We're back. Thanks for hanging out with us during that little quick little bio break. Much appreciated. So, where we left off, Defect had just asked Olive where she had been during that long period of time, 4 weeks, when she was away from the party.
Well, the Red Crows really did a number on Southbrook, and so I went back to check on all my people there, and they were very concerned that the crops and the harvest had been destroyed by the occupation and the giant fire where they burned half the town. So I spent some time helping them get another planting season in. A very fast planting season. So that they could have food to eat over this winter. So you guys remember my friend Flora? She's the florist.
Nope. Doesn't ring
Oh yeah.
She's a goblin.
Yeah.
Although she's mostly doesn't pretend she's not a goblin. But she's a goblin. And because she's the reason I speak goblin. And so she and I went on a quest to find out how to grow an entire season's worth of crops in a very short time period.
Was there any bloodshed or killing in this quest?
Not a whole lot of bloodshed. There was some mining, and I met some interesting creatures underground in a flail snail mine. And
what?
Flail snail. That sounds dangerous.
Flail snail?
Did they try to
No.
kill you?
Flail snails were not so dangerous. They're pretty goofy looking. They've got tentacles, but they're very large, but they're fairly benign. But they poop glass, and if you grind up this glass, it's a spell component.
Does the glass stink?
No.
For what kind of spell?
To grow crops.
Huh.
To accelerate the growing season so that they could have food before it got too cold to grow crops anymore. And I talked to a big rock who helped me with that. No, it was much bigger than that. It was a giant creature that looked kind of like a rock until he talked to me. And he gave me some spell components. And we did a whole big ritual spell. It took 24 hours of ritual casting, and we grew crops for the town.
That's
Defect
very
like, I'm gonna go to bed now.
yeah exciting. That's what that is.
It was exciting for
job.
me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you helped the town.
And I made nature happen, but fast.
Sure. Yeah, that.
Olive, you get the sense that this may not be the target audience for such an incredibly impressive story.
Evidently not.
Adis is actually impressed. He's paying attention and he's nodding and he's amazed that you got a second crop growing season out of something.
City folk. So yeah, that's what I did. Did some very impressive ritual spellcasting, and we grew food and fed the town.
That's a thing that is good to do for towns. Yep.
They were full. It was a town of very nice people. You met most of them. You know, the ones that didn't, burn alive.
Get killed. Yeah. Yep.
So, they needed food for the winter.
Sure. Yeah. That's
And
good.
along the way, I learned to fly. and then I get to fly back to see you guys.
That is cool. The flying part. Yeah.
As,
We killed some stuff.
I mean, that's cool too, I guess.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
But yeah.
So you all have this glorious conversation. Your evenings pass.
I'll go look for like some tavern cats to talk to or something, but someone who might appreciate her.
Sure. The tavern cats just kind of like look at you, go off,
Meow.
and fuck off, do what they want, chase a mouse. But the evening goes on. It comes to a point where like you feel like you should start to head to bed if you're going to wake up early to meet whatever boat this is going to be.
All right.
You go to your various rooms, get some rest in. Defects, given that you only need to be in rest mode for 6 hours, you wake up with plenty of time, and so you can wake up the others in time without too much difficulty. You all gather your things and head off, and find yourself surprisingly not alone, but like many people are like making their way to the docks and various trawlers and such.
It's an early city.
Yeah.
Town.
You make your way over, and Gribbledoo Granite Stone is kind of like working with people, giving a few people like, all right, today you're on this boat, and today you're on this boat. All of you have been reassigned to these boats for today, so on and so forth. But you going up, he's like, good, you're all here. Great. So good. Follow me. And he kind of passes his clipboard off to this like young human woman who starts interacting with the various dock workers. And so he leads you down a dock to a small vessel that has about like 5 people standing out on the gangplank of it. In front of them is a weather-worn half-orc woman who has her crew. It looks like she's got like 3 human males and 1 kind of wet-looking woman with her. Like she's got like a deep greeny blue skin, and like it looks like she's just like perpetually wet. But so Gribbledoo brings you on up. Captain Tesk, these are the people I was telling you about who are interested in renting your boat. And she kind of nods down to Gribbledoo and looks over at you all. So, you're the ones willing to pay for us not to fish, huh?
Yes, I mean,
Yeah,
you might do
correct.
a little fishing, but not like you normally would. Not like a,
We're after bigger game.
Yeah, old Gribble here told us you want to hunt poker?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to find Poca.
Well, not the first one to take up the quest, but all right. Well, you know the price. 50 gold gets you a week of our time.
Yep.
And she
Do
puts
we have
out
to
a hand.
warn you now if we think there's another week, or we get to make that choice on the water?
Depending on where we are, we'll talk about if you think you're going to need another week. If we're 3 days out and no sign of everything, we got 1 day of puffing about, and then we got to head back in.
Sure.
So by day 4 at the latest, you should really figure it out.
Yep. And how far away would the first islands be?
There's some few hours out.
Okay.
They're in different
And where's the
places.
deepest part of the lake? How far away? How many weeks or days does it take to get there?
Just straight out to the deep. Deep's about 2 days, 2.5 days.
Sure. Are you equipped for 2 weeks worth of stuff?
We could be.
Well, because if we decide that we want to stay out there for the second week on the third day or fourth day, like you said, then we need to be able to, make it a second week.
If we go out not planning on it, then it'll be tight, but we'll be able to do it. The freshwater lake and all that. Plenty of eels to survive on.
That's what I was worried about.
Oh, come on. Last night's eel was delicious and mouthy.
I didn't hear it talking, so I'll believe you on the mouthy.
If you want to pre-purchase 2 weeks of time, we'll happily load up some supplies, some extra holding of things.
Yeah. If we can make it, then fine. We'll play it up by ear, but just ask me the question, because if it already takes 2 days for us to get to the deep part, and that's where we're wanting to go, if we're looking around...
I don't know what you're looking for, or how long it's going to take. If you want to hire us for longer than a week right now, we'll make sure that everything will be comfortable.
Defect wants to step in, and he'll ask, out of curiosity, do you have a map of this lake? Perhaps we can...
Every captain's got a map.
Perhaps we can focus on a certain location, and we can discuss...
That's fine
business from
after
there.
you pay for some time.
Right, but finding the place on a map will determine how much time will be needed.
It looks like you should have come
Right.
better prepared.
Right.
Oh my god, I'll buy your map. Come on, lady.
Look, you're welcome to... We'll go out for a week right now. Tide's favoring us. And that's 50 gold.
Let's go. 2 days out gives us, and 2 days back gives us 3 days in the middle of the lake.
4 days. You said 2 days out, 2 days back?
Yep. Week is 7 days. That gives us 3 days sailing around in the middle of the
Left.
lake.
Okay. Left, you mean. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just... Obviously, it's going to be a little
Try
more
it.
difficult than I thought it would be. So, yeah, we pony up 50 gold pieces.
Right.
I'm giving it out of the joint.
She
Excellent.
happily takes the bag of gold and kind of does a big bow. Welcome aboard the trawler.
I don't know if I like you.
Feelings mutual love. Head on in.
Cool.
My crew will get you all sorted. Swabbies, get these folks sorted. And they all kind of nod, and the 4 humans and the wet individual kind of lead you on down the plank. You see Tresk shake Gribbledew's hand and then follow you up the plank. Or gangplank, whatever. G. Ryan, the player who plays Spoot, is currently in South America getting married. So he is not here
He's
at the moment. He will
Missing
be back,
out on the eels.
be back at the end of February. But thank you for asking. So you hop on board the trawler. It's a very imaginative name. And you head on out. Yeah.
now can I look at the map?
Yeah.
Does
Tresk.
she like lay out a map and kind of?
Yeah, Tresk brings you into her cabin, lays out. It's not like a full detailed map of the lake. It's mostly like a fishing, like tracking schools of various fish. Kind of map.
That's actually, I think, what I need. All right, so something about being on a boat. I think between previous events and learning more about his past, Defect is kind of remembering a life on a boat. So like some of these things are coming back to him, which is kind of weird and weird somehow, but he just goes along with it. So looking at this map of fishing school trails, and is there any area on that map where there is no fish, where no boats go out to, because it'll be pointless to them?
So you can ask Tresk that, and Captain Tesk lets you know that eel schools kind of float around, and generally, like at certain times of the year, they're in one place and then in another. Same with various other fish territories, as it were. Open waters are better for like deeper fish, because they don't like to be like out in the sun and baking. Closer to the various islands, there are she notes that there are like rumors about like certain areas of the deep parts of the lake that people just kind of avoid out of like folklore and habit, but she doesn't really ascribe to that, and she's had good luck fishing in those places.
Has she recalled ever seeing an island with 3 trees on it?
Let's see if she has. She is not. I mean, there's lots of islands with lots of trees at various points in the lake.
And if I mention an island with a shrine on it,
could be anything. Never really get off and explore the islands. It's kind of counterproductive to the fishing.
I mean, I imagine that if we're looking for Poka, and no one believes that Poka exists, then that must mean it must be in a portion of the lake that many fishermen don't go out to.
Yeah, fair.
Any of these people who told us they had ever seen it, do we get a better description? Other than
there's no real description of it. Like the folklore, local town legends have all described, essentially like a sea serpent or a sea monster kind of deal. So whatever that visual is essentially what has been conveyed.
How high above the water line is the side of the boat? Like, is it a very like low?
It's a fairly low bottomed trawler. The waves pick up like towards the center, but not so much the outer banks. So it's a good 10-foot drop to the edge.
Right.
And this is not a particularly expansive boat. Like the trawler is maybe like 60 feet long and 40 feet wide.
But it's high above. It's fairly high above the water. Like I can't bend over the rail and stick my head in the water.
No. You could jump in, but
out of curiosity, how many other towns reside around this lake?
Quite a few. Occasionally we see other ships from other boats from other towns. Everybody's pretty cordial. There's no like fighting over it. Nobody takes more than they need, because what's the point?
And again, is there a part of the lake where there seems to be no towns or cities on a shoreline?
I mean, there's lots of places like that.
What about ruins? Are there any ruins along the shoreline?
Well, yeah.
Castles.
Well, not so much castles, but Dragma's built off of old ruins. There's a whole stretch of ruins that the town was built up on. There's some halfling that like researches them all.
What do any of the islands have ruins on them?
Couldn't tell you. Like I said, I've never explored the islands.
Right, but nothing that you could like see from the. It's not like oh, there's a little island with a building on it.
Not that I've ever noticed. But again,
Alright.
I don't go up close to the islands. I just wherever the fish are, that's where I go.
All right, well let's head out to the deep
Start. Yeah, with the deep end.
with the deep end of the lake, deep part of the lake, out in the middle.
All right, let's get it sorted. And she rolls up the map, puts it away, leads you all out to the deck, and starts calling directions to her crew. And the next couple of days are pretty uneventful. There's a little.
Over that time, I want to ask more about the halfling that studies the ruins.
Yeah.
I
Also,
want
really quick, Jared. While the ship's sailing, can I be? I'm guessing there's a crow's nest or something, a high point, or
There's no there. Well, there is a central mast, but there's no like crow's nest. It's
Okay.
more utilitarian than that. There's a forecastle and an aft castle, which are like
Right.
higher raised portions of the main deck. The main deck is mostly for like when they catch stuff and they dump it all out on the deck and they can wrangle things into it or into various containers and whatnot. There's a big like it looks like a crane on the forecastle and the aft castle, which have big nets that are kind of tied up and tucked away because they're not in use while you are on board.
okay.
Um,
I will spend some time at the front of the boat and just use my eagle eyes to scan.
Good to know.
I'm going to attempt to befriend the wet lady
Okay.
when she's not too busy doing stuff.
Yeah.
She
Introduces herself as Slisa.
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 And basically want to talk to her about, swimming off the boat and how difficult that is to get on and off the boat if one wanted to.
Well,
Get in the water.
getting off's really easy. You just jump.
Well,
Getting
yes.
on, we could throw a line out and then you could climb back up it. That's what I do.
Do you do a lot of swimming in the lake?
Oh yeah, occasionally. I'm usually the one who goes around and like fixes holes underneath the water because I don't need to because I can breathe in the water. So
I thought you might be the one to ask about swimming.
I don't know what you're trying to imply. She kind of smiles.
Just that you appear to be a very capable lake dweller. Lake dweller, that's not the right word. Lake person. I don't know.
She laughs this kind of like musical lilting laugh and just kind of chuckles.
Do you swim like I know you go underwater to fix the boat and stuff, but like do you ever like go deep underwater? What kind of things are there
Not
to
really.
see underwater here?
There's fish. I mean, for the first like half a day, the lake's pretty shallow around the edges. Doesn't get much more than like 40 feet or so. Then it starts dropping off pretty quickly, more towards the middle. Deepest I've ever gone is maybe 200 feet. There's not a lot of stuff out there.
When you say there's not a lot of stuff, is there a noticeable void of stuff?
No,
Like,
like there's plants on the bottom growing up. There's fish swimming around. It's pretty
There's not like
normal.
There's not like a place in the lake that's like.
Well, I haven't been everywhere in the lake.
Well, no, I know, but there hasn't been a place that you've been that has been, unusually empty.
I feel like you're trying to get at something. It'd be a lot easier if you just tell me what you're trying to get at.
We're looking for a sea monster.
Never seen one.
Fair. See, that wasn't a useful question. So it was,
No, I mean, well, there's legends that say like, oh, Poker lives in the deepest part of the lake, but like, and a lot of people don't fish the deep part of the lake, but We do. We've never had a problem.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to swimming with you.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And she kind of winks. Cool.
Olive will smile at her.
Greg, you ask Captain Tesk about the halfling researcher back in town?
Yep.
Cool. She tells you that his name is Eldest Groaningbow. And
Roning bow.
yep, Eldest Groaningbow, or Bow, however he pronounces it. And she doesn't really know much other than he is really into like the ruins and artifacts found in and around town that kind of get dug up from time to time. There are some undeveloped ruins outside of the wall of the town that he spends a lot of time in. But she doesn't really know. She's never interacted with him. She knows he's on the town council.
Being to feel like everyone in town is part of the town council.
You happen to meet one right off the bat who then directed you to another.
Fair.
You've seen many other people in town who are not on the council. Micah, not on the council. Shop boy, not on the council.
Fair.
Fisher dude, probably not on the council. Kids playing in the sand, not on the council.
I don't know.
I
They
could
were
go
very
on,
grown up.
be.
but
Fair.
Junior council.
Yeah. Huh. All right, good to know.
Yeah.
File that away for when we get back to shore.
cool. So after a couple of days, there's a little bit of weather on the second day, but nothing too crazy. They batten down the sail and just kind of row for the most part. It seems like there's 4 large oars that they can extend, and 4 of the crew members can operate them. It's usually you saw 3 of the humans, and then Slisa. And then the other human kind of spells whoever needs it, and the captain hops in when she needs to, because she's a strong lady. But you get to kind of the rough area of where you want it to go in about a little over 2 days. So the way I would like to do this is I will ask, what are you searching for? Because you've got a couple of different leads here. So I just want to know, like, what you're looking for.
I think we are looking for the island.
Yes, I agree.
All right, cool.
So moving toward the deep part of the lake, but looking for islands around there.
Cool.
And sending out Padook sometimes to like scope out. Like we talked about.
And at some point when we get into the deepest part of the lake, Olive is going to hop in, turn into an octopus, and just like see what under the lake looks like. Like just do a kind of basic recon of like, what does it look like? Is it is the water murky? Is it dark? Yeah.
So you do that. You hop in. It's not especially murky. It's pretty clear, freshwater, deep lake kind of vibes. There's
A lot of seaweed.
There's some seaweed equivalency. There's algae and stuff, so you don't have like perfect clear vision.
Right. But is it like kelp forest, or is it like there's some seaweed?
There's some seaweed. You're also like, it's deep, so you can't see the bottom, so you don't know what's on the bottom.
Sure. I get 4 hours as the octopus at a time with a 60-foot speed.
Yeah, so with 4 hours, you can definitely make it to the bottom, and it's a lot of rocks and seaweed. You can make an investigation check.
I shall. Oh, I probably have to do it as an octopus, though, don't I?
You do. Well, you used your mental stats as an octopus, so.
Well, that's good because the octopus is not any better at investigation than I am.
Cool. Yeah, so with a 13, it's a lot of rocks and like the odd like sunken tree. And not just like a sunken tree, but like what was obviously like a tree that like had started its life growing but was now like rotted away. Like whatever part of land it was growing out of sunk beneath the lake. So there's like a bunch of that going on, and then like various algae and stuff has grown off of that, and you know, not particularly unusual because you know that from the breaking, like the entire landscape changed in a variety of ways.
Sure.
So
Sure.
a sunken forest becoming the bottom of a lake bed, not particularly unusual.
Right. Right.
Cool.
Yeah, just a little bit of swimming around, see what there is to see. Are there a lot of do the fish species change down at the bottom? Like, are there different fish down there?
Yeah, there's a few different types of fish in the lake.
But none of them are remarkable fish. They're just fish.
Various fish, minnows, trout, occasional bass, catfish maybe, eel, a lot of eel.
A lot of eel. All right. I'm just getting the lay of the land.
Yeah, it's very lake-like. Meanwhile, those of you on the deck can go ahead and make perception checks. Because like this is all that you're really doing is like scanning for the island, you can have advantage on it.
I'm being haunted by the memories of a past life. Where
Defect, I'd like you to make a wisdom save. For those of you, who, just so everybody who's watching knows, Defect just rolled 2 5s on a perception check. At advantage.
And just not especially wise.
All right, and with a 7 wisdom save, sorry. On a 7 wisdom save, Defect, you feel like you should see more, but your mind keeps drifting back to like the tales that you were told by Umbredius about how you were like a guard on a ship before, so maybe you should be better at things, but you just keep going over it in your brain more than actually paying attention.
Yep. Absolutely.
Cool. Greg, nothing. You don't see anything.
Nope.
I
don't.
But that first
I'm
day,
busy doing plans of how to make a lot of noise and attract Puka.
Fair.
Poka.
So the first day goes by without anything.
Is it dark at the bottom of the lake?
Yeah.
Or is it
Of
water
course
pretty
it's
clear?
dark. No, it's dark like after like 60 feet or so. Like you can't like see anything beyond whatever.
Octopus has dark vision.
Yeah. That's what the octopus can see. Your octopus form can see that area, but there's no light source.
But it's dark. It's not like clear water.
No.
How deep is the lake where we are?
At the moment, it's about. Oh, it's probably about like almost 200 to 400 feet at any given point in time. But you're not at like the deepest parts yet.
Right. No, I mean where we are right now. Like how far down is the octopus? Like 100 feet down, 200 feet down?
However far you want to be down. You tell me.
At the bottom.
Yeah, so like 350 feet.
Okay. Cool. I'm just gonna, take a look-see around.
Yeah.
I'll come back up. Wave a tentacle at my wet friend on the deck.
Yep. So you do all this. So the first day does not yield any results. But the next day you can all do such things again.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Well, remember you have advantage on the perception checks because you're spending all day doing it.
Good. I rolled in that one. All right, so 14 perception.
Olive, do you want to stay
There
up
it goes.
and help to find a thing? Okay, cool.
No, I'm going back underwater.
Okay. All right, cool. What's up, Grig?
Grig is trying to hatch plans for science. So here's the thing, guys. What if I make this, stick? Can I borrow this stick? Thanks. Or, like, a random object that is found on the boat that seems pointless.
Make an investigation check.
Okay.
With my rolls, that would be me.
Okay, with a 20, you find like what looks to be like a little like bat or a club or something.
Okay. So here's a thought. Here's an idea that I've got. What if I take this bat and I can do this thing where it, like, makes a really loud sound, or, like, you know, can, like, flash really brightly or something. What if I just, like, what if you go take it in the water and you, like, swim around with it, and maybe we'll get Puka's attention. Do you know how to speak? Like, do you know how to make a sea monster sound? Maybe you move it around and we'll get their attention.
Make a sea monster sound?
Yeah, be like, sea monster, come say hi. You talk to animals, right? And then I can record it. It has to be, like, short. And then you can swim around with it in the deep. And it doesn't go, like, super far, but it should go a little far. And then if we do it in different spots, then maybe we'll catch... Here, let me show you. I use the stick. And I have it say, Puka, come say hi. And then it plays back.
You hear the stick emit the tone of Grig's voice saying, Puka, come say hi.
So, like, I can talk to animals, but I don't think I can just produce the language of an animal that I haven't seen. Like, we don't know what Puka looks like.
Oh, but maybe you just do it and see what happens? I don't know. That's my idea.
Like, I could...
Maybe you just screech.
Could screech. Could just make some screeching noises. I've recently spoken in Eeels, so I could maybe record in Eel.
Sure, yeah.
Well, to clarify, you just spoke normally. The magic just allowed the eel to understand you, and you to understand it.
I mean, maybe the magic will work in the voice? I don't know. Maybe you just make loud sounds and carry it around underwater, and Puka will come and wonder what the loud sounds are because they're hungry, or because they have a thirst to destroy.
I could turn into an eel and then screech into it.
I mean, okay.
I'm not sure. Eels.
All right,
make noise.
I tried.
I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. Do octopi make noise? Do eels make noise?
I mean, not really.
I mean, like, you know, underwater mammals make noise, but I don't think fish.
We don't know what Puka is.
We don't know what Puka is. I mean, it's a large rabbit, but...
The thing just keeps saying, by the way.
Huh?
It keeps saying, like, Puka, come out. Puka, come out.
Come say hi.
Come say hi. Come say hi.
I see. Continuously emit an odor or a nonverbal sound.
I did the 6-second message. But I can also do that. Here, I could do this. And then it plays back.
It does that. Which I'm sure is not annoying at all.
No. Greg is trying things for science.
Sure.
All right.
What if we just dip it in the water and it just does that in the water?
All right. If you give it to me, can I get in the water with it and record something to it? Or does it have to be in your hands for it to work?
Oh, I have to do it.
All right. So, come in the water with me.
Nope.
Hard stop.
Because air noises are not going to make water creatures. We need a water noise.
What? That's not a thing. A
Yeah.
water noise?
We need
It's
water
a noise. If it travels through the water, it's still a noise. It sounds a little different, but it's the noise.
Right. But we don't want it. We want it to be an interesting noise.
What?
We want it to be a water source noise. We need to get in the water, and it'll turn into something that can like be in the water but be just below the surface. And you stick the thing in there, and it'll make a water noise. And we'll record it, and then I'll take it and I'll go swimming with it.
It won't make a water noise that it's recordable. I don't understand how the noise is going to be different, except that it'll be playing in water.
It'll sound like a water creature as opposed to sound like an air creature.
If you're doing that, you think that's what'll do it?
If I turn into a water creature and we take it into the water, because if I turn into a water creature, I can only the octopus can hold its breath for an hour, but it can't talk while it's doing that. It can't make noise. It can only make noise in the water.
I see what you're saying. Never mind, this is a bad idea.
So, Greg,
What if it just wants to destroy? I'm gonna tie the bat to a piece of our rope and let it dangle. Maybe it's just the sound of screaming people will make it come. Maybe it wants to attack us. Greg
Sure.
does not want to go in the water.
That's fine. You can do that. That doesn't require any checks. You tie it off and throw it in the water. Whatever. It's fine.
All right, great. It's just
now-
gonna go.
Yeah. None of you can hear it, and like nothing can hear it more than 10 feet away anyway.
Nope.
So, whatever.
Nope. Greg is trying for science.
I know. I'm down with it. But I dig it. So go ahead, make the perception check to help Defect on day 2 to just keep an eye out.
Ooh, better. 18.
Cool. So you all spend your day doing various things. Olive, with a 15 investigation, you do find like a couple interesting things down here today at the bottom, which is much closer to like 700 feet today.
Ooh.
Yeah, you've gone to
That's
a
a
deeper...
really fucking deep lake.
Mm-hmm. And you're not even at the deep part yet. The captain has said that she's trying to cover as much as possible.
Are there like caves or anything down there now, or just like more dead
No,
trees?
but you do find a small ruin.
Ooh.
Of like a building. It's obviously stone. It's very worn away, but you do see like a aquatic motif to it, like whether it's a fishtail or like representative of water, you don't know, but like it's definitely like aquatic themed from the ruin.
Can I go inside it?
It's not like an inside thing. It's like the base and like a few columns of wall or pieces of
Okay.
wall. It's not a structure.
Are there 3 dead trees around?
No.
Okay. It's kind of cool though.
Yeah, but it shows that there are ruins under here in places. So you got the next day, the third day. You all are on the lookout, and fairly early in the morning, one of the crew members points to an area, and they're pointing towards a small island. The captain, Tesk, shows up and is like, "Well, we're in a part we've never been to before, so could be that there's the island you're looking for."
What does the island look like? I need
It's
to do a perception, don't I?
yeah. You can all make a perception check
Yeah.
with a 24, Olive. A double nat 20. Wow. With that, you see the shapes, like 3 distinct shapes on top of this island. It's a bit far out, so you can't make out details, but you can see that there are 3 distinct shapes on the island.
I think we should go there. How close to the island can we get?
Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
close enough that Paduk can flat reach it and come back safely and tell us Well, more about these three shapes?
So the captain gives the orders to head towards the lake, or head towards the island. And as you get closer, you can see that it is definitely like there are three massive trees on this island, like easily hundreds of feet tall and like very wide around. And it becomes like increasingly shallow, and so they can't get much closer with the boat than 300 feet away, which is plenty close enough for Paduk to like go on. And by this time, Paduk has opted to reveal himself to the crew because they've seemed like they are very nice. And he's been chatting with them while you all have been doing various things. So Paduk goes invisible and flies out. Make a investigation check for Paduk, someone.
Not defect. Sorry, Mike.
The electronic dice do not appreciate you tonight.
Investigation is a straight intelligence, and he is investigation, not perception.
Yep. It could be perception. Just different information. So with an 18 for Paduk, he returns to the ship, to the trawler, and lets you know that it's pretty much three massive trees make up the bulk of the island. There's a beech tree, a birch tree, and an oak tree, and they each occupy like their own like corner or side of the island. It's not quite a triangle, but it's triangulish.
A beech, a birch, and an oak?
Yep.
Okay.
A beech, a birch, and an oak.
All right.
And then it's like a lot of overgrown brush, and that's what he saw with flying over the island, scanning it.
All right.
Okay, how do I get there now? It's still 300 feet away.
300 feet away?
I'll just fly over there. I can meet you on the beach.
I mean, that's fair.
As an eagle, I can carry 240 pounds.
And I can swim out, I guess.
I mean, you just walk, right?
I could just sink and walk along the bottom.
The bottom is really far down.
Yeah.
Not here.
It got shallow.
Yeah.
It got shallow again.
Too shallow for the boat to go in.
Yep.
Right. Duh. So, I've not been an octopus yet today, right? Because this is day 3. I've only been an octopus twice.
Yep.
So I could be an eagle and I could carry Grig.
Yep, I like that. Or I could, I guess. I mean, I didn't prepare that. Never mind. Is that on my list? Never mind.
So, yeah.
And how heavy is defect?
Oh, we have to think about Adis too.
Yeah. Adis is fine to swim, but he would also appreciate an eagle ride. Since once you transform, you're an eagle anyway.
Yeah, I'm an eagle anyway.
And Adis you could definitely carry. He's a lithe little guy.
I was gonna say, I feel like I could probably carry Adis and Grig in one trip. The question is,
Probably.
Can I carry defect at all?
I am 310 pounds.
So no is the answer.
No is the answer.
Cool. So sorry, defect. But alright, so I'm a giant eagle that flies at 80 feet per turn, so 300 feet is a pretty quick flight.
Yeah, definitely.
And
since you're just flying, it's even quicker. It's mere moments to deposit
I'll
Adis
scoop up Grig and
Grig.
Adis in my talons, gently,
Mm-hmm.
and fly over to this island.
Greg just screams the whole time.
Yeah, Adis just kind of covers his ears. Just like, Greg.
Ah. Whoa, 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 whoa.
The eagle will scream back and is much bigger.
Ah, okay.
Eventually, you all get onto this island, and Paduke is just sitting there on a rock. Well, it took you long enough. I thought you were like coming. All right, what do we do next?
I mean, we look around.
Everybody, give me an investigation check.
Yep, that's the one. Dang it. 14.
Investigation, huh?
Not my night.
The eagle has
Oh,
a
my darling.
Another natural one from Defect. Holy shit.
Oh, my
the
darling.
giant,
Well,
the eagle has a passive perception of 18.
And?
And Olive rolled an investigation of 11.
Paduke can make one as well.
Yeah.
Paduke gets a 16.
Cool. So Defect, you start just kind of like going up to the trees and looking at them. And they're trees. You spend your time like looking around the roots, not really knowing what's going on.
The eagle has advantage on perception checks that rely on sight.
Yeah, that's not what you're doing.
No.
You're
All
like
right.
perception is just looking around. You are actively like trying to find something, which is investigation. So
Fair.
it is a different skill.
Fair.
Uh,
I was trying.
So, remaining an eagle, all of you fly around and try to do like scans of the island, but don't notice anything. Greg, you're kind of digging around in places, but don't find any stones or whatever. Paduke, meanwhile, is off kind of fluttering around somewhere on the island and zips back towards you all at some point and like, I found something. I found a thing. I did it. I found it. Follow me.
Okay.
And he excitedly like zips fluttering away like towards like the center of the island, which is not very big. G. Ryan, thanks for coming and spending some time with us tonight. Have a good night.
Good night.
Goodbye, G. Ryan. See you around. So you all zip after Paduke, who's very excited, and you almost lose track of him for a while. But you do eventually catch up to him, and he is sitting on like a the remains of like a moss and like lichen covered little like pagoda, for lack of a better term. It's not like a full thing you could walk through. It's like half broken open, like a Buddhist shrine kind of deal. Only the cover has been like broken off, and whatever statue was there is now just like formless through years of wind and rain and weather. So it's just kind of a form, not detailed.
Is it vaguely serpentine or vaguely humanoid or vaguely...
It's just a vague shape.
Lumpy?
It's just what it is. And there are small worn carvings kind of on it that have faded and don't really mean anything. But Paducah's like, yeah, see? I found a thing. Is this what we're looking for?
Olive will stop being an eagle so that she can actually investigate a little better and communicate, because she can understand common as the eagle but can't speak it.
Correct.
So it will cease being an eagle.
Cool.
Return to being a half-orc.
What do we do now?
I mean, we touch it, and we like play with it, and we try to figure out what it does.
Paduke goes over and sits on it. Seems like a rock to me.
Can I pick it up? Let's move it. What's under it?
No, you can make an investigation check.
Yes. That's better.
So that's a 22,
22.
for Greg.
Yeah.
Well, Greg, you are investigating. Like you're thinking about like picking it up and ticking around, and like you notice that the ground is like also like stone slabs and stone like walking stones that have been like raised and lifted over time. And you notice that one of them looks like it's designed to be lifted up, like one of these like stones on the ground.
Hey, this one looks like it comes up. Defect, can you try to lift it?
Say no more. And I walk on over and I lift it up.
Yep, easy to do. There's no like latch. It's not dug in. You lift it open, and beneath the stone is another like inset stone. It's like a box kind of opening up. And inside of that, there are perfectly intact carvings that show a representation of what you can easily deduce to be the Lake of Eels. And a certain location is like marked or highlighted in such a way, for lack of a better term, that there is a large serpentine, multi-finned figure carved next to that location.
Can we tell where that location is?
Yeah, it looks very similar to the map, for the most part, that the captain has.
All right.
You all get the sense that these carvings depict an exact location of where this creature would be and where the lair might be.
I think we should go there.
Yeah, we should draw that, or, I mean, can you remember it, the map? I didn't look that closely at it.
Well, I have seen that people like use like paper and take rubbings of these kinds of things. Does anyone have that kind of stuff? I don't have any of that. I mean, my paper is all small.
Yeah, that's what I'm. I don't.
I've got a
I mean, we've got the book we're supposed to talk to.
I have another random book.
Which, like, have you been
I guess I could
talking
pull
to?
out.
Have you been like recording all of this down in the book? By the way.
I was trying to decide about that. I think not until there was something to talk about. So tonight, Greg's gonna do it.
Okay.
And regale the whole tale of we walked for this many days, and we walked for another this many days, and nothing happened. And then we spent money on this, and then we got to this town, and then we did,
So you'll be detailing as Greg.
I'll do it all. Detail the past 2 weeks
Cool.
tonight. Now that there's something.
Greg,
Olive is carrying just a generic book. Can I tear a page out of it and make a rubbing?
is it like a book, or is it like a blank book?
It's a book.
I have a formerly flying smut book that I could tear a page out of.
I mean, you can try, but like, it's going to be hard with like the written words on the page, like covering up stuff.
But like, yeah, maybe there's a page with less
I
writing
have
on.
calligrapher's tools.
You can do it.
Does that include paper?
Like, you can definitely tear a book out. It's just going to adjust
Not be very
some
detailed.
things.
Sure. Calligrapher's tools sounds like it would include some paper.
Does it?
I don't know. I'm looking.
Okay. Yeah. You can also like go to the boat and come back or whatever. Like, that's an option.
Sure. Does it make sense?
I'll go. And Paduk like flies off to the boat.
There you go. I was gonna say, does it make sense for me to turn back into a flying thing and go get someone from the boat?
Paduk comes back
Calligrapher's
about
supplies.
like 10 minutes later.
I
with...
have parchment.
Great. About 10 minutes later, Paduk shows up with a roll of a single piece of parchment that he got off the captain. Oh.
No, I mean, thanks. I just remembered jinx, basically. Like, you remember, you did it, and I did it at the same time.
While you were just looking through your bag, I just figured out, oh.
No,
Well,
we did it together.
I guess you can have this anyway. And he kind of, and like he's holding the whole thing like it's a big roll, like he held onto it real tight to get it to you guys.
No, we'll use yours.
Really
and
tried.
Then we'll save this. No, you did it. We'll use yours.
All right. While they're talking about this, Olive's going to collect some twigs and like make a little fire to create some charcoal to make a rubbing with.
Yep, easy enough to do. You get a rubbing. It's all good. Greg, by the way, the past like week or so, your left ankle has been really bothering you.
Interesting.
What did you do to your left ankle?
I don't know. It's just been bugging me.
Did you hurt it? Did you fall down?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. Let's get back to the boat.
Is it a wound? Can I cure wounds?
There's no
Like your
wound
wounds?
upon inspecting it. There's no bruise. There's no cut.
It's like Ben's. It just doesn't feel good, right?
Yeah, like it doesn't.
Look at it.
It doesn't cause you like to not be able to walk or anything like that. It's just like, you know how sometimes you just have like a pain.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been like that for a week.
All right. So, all right, we'll turn back into an eagle
Mm-hmm.
and collect Grig and Adis and fly back to the boat with the rubbing.
Yeah, you all get back on the ship, and the captain looks over it with you. She's like, "Well, if this spot is where you want to go, that's where we'll get tomorrow morning."
Great.
That's lucky. And Greg sits down and opens the book and talks to it.
Cool. You
Olive is going to have a nice rest so that she can turn into more animals.
Sure, yeah. The captain makes way to get to this location for the next day. You can nap or whatever. Greg, as you like spend hours talking to this book about like everything that happened since you left the glen, essentially, you start getting towards like where you are now. And like as you begin talking about like today to the book, which fills up like every time you speak to it, it takes down everything you say verbatim.
And then we talked to this guy who had a bald head, and I told him he was old, and he was a gnome. But then I remembered the other gnome that I met who had white hair instead that made stuff. So I asked him about making stuff, but he was the dock master instead.
Yep. All that. And the errata that continues. You start talking about like what happened today, and as you finish up your conversation to the book, your ankle feels better.
Wait a minute.
Mm.
You mean I have to do this all the time? Oh, man.
And you recall your agreement was to take down every bit of information about this quest of yours.
Yep. All right. Somebody set a reminder. Remind me. I have to do this all the time.
Well, whenever your ankle starts to hurt, it's time to talk to the book.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's
I
almost
mean-
like it's a built-in alarm.
I mean, it didn't feel better. Like it was kind of weird. Like you were going to start like, oh, like today we did this thing, but then like a thought occurred to you to start like from the beginning of leaving the Glen.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's weird. Like you weren't going to, and then you just thought, I'll just do it. And so you spent the next like hours into nightfall talking to the book.
Okay.
But you all settle in for the evening. As you're settling in, Defect, you've had a rough couple of days on this boat. Your mind's been elsewhere. You haven't really been... I mean, you feel like you're good at certain things, and you haven't been doing those things. So you felt maybe kind of lost, or whatever it is you've been feeling. But
Picked up rock real good.
yeah, you did. But you hear something in the evening in your mind. Hey, Defect, this is Spoot checking in. Is everyone okay? I'm fine, but no new details yet.
I'm sorry, what was the last sentence he said?
I'm fine, but no new details yet.
You can reply to this message.
I know, I'm trying to think. Hey, Spoot, everyone's still alive. I am lost in repressed memories. By the way, where are you? Having fun?
We have eels.
Miss you lots, buddy. Don't tell Greg I said that. It was leave it at that.
Okay, great.
Nicely done.
Well done. Cool. So you got that. The next day, you all wake up. The captain and the crew let you know that you're exactly where you want to be. And the captain says, unless you want to pay for more days, this is it, and then we got to head back.
I hope.
That's day 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Well, it's day 5, actually.
Day 5.
Day 4 we spent at the temple.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Mhm.
In the water, octopus.
All right.
Bloop.
Okay.
4 hours. What can I see in 4 hours?
Yeah, you go down, like you've all talked about this, you know right where it is. So as you descend, where is it? Cool. As you descend, you go through the dark. The water here is very cold, and it is very dark. There's a lot of algae.
Mm-hmm.
But you head on down. After about 10 minutes, you're still going down. You get to your best guess. Make an intelligence check for me, Olive.
Oh, dumb as a rock.
On a natural 1, you're deep. You are so deep.
It's real deep here.
Yeah, like you can't see up above anymore. Like it is deep. But once you are down here, you do notice something. You notice what appears to be like there's like a rock on the side of the channel, like because it gets like progressively more narrow. Like it's like a ravine or like a trench. There are grooves in the rock that have been smoothed away, which you're pretty sure could only be made by something large rubbing against it routinely or often over time.
Uh-huh.
And based on the way the grooves work, like it's like like an eel or something, like a massive eel, like was swimming by it consistently over time.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna keep looking around, like
Sure.
trench with with grooves in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can follow the grooves.
Swim along the grooves.
Yeah. You follow the grooves along. Go ahead, just make a perception check for me. At disadvantage. As octopus.
Perception. Perception as the octopus?
Well, you use your mental stats, so it's yours.
Okay.
So with a 9, you don't really notice anything too crazy. You're down here. It's been about 3 hours. But yeah, I mean, you swam over some ruins. You swam or through some ruins, I suppose. But like no heaping piles of treasure.
Right. All right. Well,
The ruins were like pretty close to the boat, though. And then you kind of like scooted off, not really finding anything else of significance.
Are the ruins like bits of stone? Are they like?
So there's there's like a big platform, and then there's like what looked to be like the bottom, like a bit of a gazebo. And it's like inside of like this rocky trench.
Are there any loose bits that I could like pick up?
Yeah, like you could grab like a little stone as an octopus.
Yeah, something from the ruins like might have carving or something on it.
Make an investigation check.
Oh yeah.
With a 7, yeah, you find a rock.
Great. Take my rock and head back up.
All right, cool. You pluck
Wave a
up.
tentacle.
Yep. Yeah, you suction cup onto the rope, and they haul you back in as an octopus. You revert to your normal
Turn back
state.
to Olive. Tell them what I saw. Show them my rock.
So there's stuff, but there's not a puka.
I didn't see anything. Did I see anything alive down there? Were there fish?
There were fish.
But nothing remarkable.
Not that you noticed.
Right. Yeah, I didn't see anything that looked like a monster. There were some fish and stuff down there, and there are some like ruins with like that I picked up this rock from. It's very, very, very deep and very dark. And it looked like something big and eel-like had been digging a trench, essentially, like wearing away the sides of the trench. But I didn't actually see anything.
Okay, so nobody's home.
Nobody's home, basically. Do we think it's maybe going down in the nighttime would be more likely to find him home? It home? Her home? Them home?
Are we gonna have to go in the water?
I've been in the water. It's quite nice.
Yeah, this is another thing where we go in the water, isn't it? We got the stuff for it. I think we go in the water. I think we stay. And then we go again and look together.
Well, I mean, I can
agree.
keep going on down and just like come up and tell you when there's actually something down there, because we don't have a ton of going underwater stuff for you guys.
Yeah, but if we need to do it again, we can always change it again. I can do the magic part and save the potion part.
Because
Do I get to go underwater too?
Can you go underwater?
I mean, I can't breathe underwater, but if you have stuff.
Yeah. We definitely have enough to try it once.
right, but I can go down twice for 4 hours at a time, and then I only need to take a nap to go again.
That's fine. We all should go down at least once, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
With Olive going down and it having been 4 hours at this point, it's about noon.
Right. So if I go down again, like maybe as it starts to get dusky this evening, and see if there's anything down there, and then
I mean, it's reasonable to say that this is a place where it has been, it looks like. So I think if we
Right.
go again, we need to go together.
Or should
I don't know.
No, Olive should definitely go alone again, because what could possibly happen?
Octopus is real stealthy. Octopus is real stealthy underwater.
Well, we know how things turn out in this game.
True story.
Yeah.
True story.
I mean, there may be nothing there.
Right. I don't want all of us to go down and see what I just saw.
Right, but we might see other stuff too.
And you are right where you're supposed to be according to that carving.
Yeah.
True story.
We're on the money, and you clearly see something down there. My bet is, yes, if we try again later, maybe you take your rest, and then
Like
we
the
go
2
try
rounds.
again after that. If all else fails, we can open a portal and go to Sada's office from the middle of the water. But I think we do need to pay the nice lady to stay here.
Yes. I think we definitely want to stay here.
Yep.
Yep. I think maybe after lunch, I'll go down and scout some more, see if there's anything new to see, and I'll come up and take a nap.
Yeah, because we
And then
can't
we
head
cannot-
back right now.
Right.
But
And
we
then we
have to
can
head
all go
back
down
tomorrow
together.
morning.
I think it's worth a reconnaissance mission at a different time of day.
That's fine. I'm saying, do we have to tell the lady that we're leaving today? Like, we need to start leaving today, though, because it took a little over 2 days.
The captain has informed you that unless you pay for another week, then then like overnight or in the morning, whichever, the crew will set sail to return to Dragma.
Yeah, it sounded like that's
Yeah.
what it sounded like. We needed to decide before the end of the day so that they could start leaving. All right, so we are going to pay for staying, and we are going to investigate at least once
Okay.
together.
The captain happily takes another 50 gold from you.
Yep, coming out of party funds.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Olive, are you taking a short rest or are you using your second wild shape and then taking?
I was going to use my second wild shape to go down, like, super stealthy.
Okay.
Octopus has advantage on stealth checks underwater.
Great.
Super stealthy, and just,
Check out the ruins again.
check out the ruins, check out if, like, anything looks different, if I see a creature, like, looking to see if anyone's home, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Go ahead. Make a stealth check as ye old giant octopus.
13.
Great.
So much for advantage. Super helpful.
Hey, when you roll 2 13s, you roll 2 13s. Cool. Go ahead. Make a perception check at disadvantage as the octopus. Cool.
Lots of 13s.
Yeah. 13 is apparently the number of the day.
And 1.
Yeah. So, as you swim around as an octopus, you are going through the ruins again. It looks pretty much the same, but as you swim over a bit of the silt sand area, kind of between the places, you see right at the corner of your vision, a giant eye opens up and looks at the giant octopus right in front of it. This eye is 3 times as large as you are.
Oh,
And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode
Yep.
of Nuuli Forged.
This is why we were going to go together.
I release an ink cloud and get the fuck out.
We'll find out next week on Nuuli Forged.
Glaven. Glaven.
So, well done, everybody. You may have found what you were looking for. I've got it in chat. Grandma, what big eyes you have. So we'll find out.
The authors had a plan.
We'll find out what all that entails next week, right here on Newly Forged, for episode 69. Nice.
Hey.
That's why all of our jokes were so whatever they were.
Yes.
It'll be a swell time. And we'll see what happens and if somebody needs a backup character.
Again.
Another druid. This time it's a half dragon druid.
Just rotating through.
all the half creatures.
Yeah.
But
Tiefling.
tieflings are great. But very cool. So let's go around, say some goodbyes, plug anything you want to plug, and I'll figure out who we raiding tonight. So let's start in reverse order with Greg.
That's me. I am Amber. I have been Greg, the Goblin Artificer, someday voiced by Joan Cusack, performing as Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah, thanks for watching, I guess. I'll do the social media bump. So we are on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, all at Newly Forged. Remember to do the liking, the sharing, subscribing, commenting, all of the ings, tweeting, twittering, retweeting. I clearly internet. Please do all of the social media things. Help us grow. We love you. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Glorious. Hopping on up to Defect.
I'm Defect, as played by me, Mike. Couldn't have said it better than what Amber just said, so I'll just leave it at that. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back. See what I did there? That's the connect to the beginning of the show, the episode.
I don't understand.
My Schwarzenegger impression.
Oh, that was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh,
Could you explain
Oh
it
my
to us
gosh.
better?
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm with you now.
it's the audio. It's the audio. My
Yeah, it's the
computer.
audio
That's-
quality. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hopping on over to Olive.
Hey, I'm Sarah. I've been Olive, and I really hope that this creature doesn't like calamari. And we'll see you all next week, where we get to see if what other kind of druid I can be.
Indeed. And I have been Jared, your humble dungeon master here on Newly Forged. If you would like to hear Matt's dulcet tones, as well as some more of my own, we have a podcast called Mid-Level Adventurers, which you can catch on all your podcasting platforms, and every week on YouTube we upload an episode there as well. So you can catch up that way. You can do all the follows that Amber told you about. And a big shout out to Ives Got It in chat for being our moderator and being engaged. We love you a lot, buddy. Thanks so much. Big shout out to G Ryan for hanging out with us tonight, and Dirty 20 Live for following us over the past week. We're going to do some raids on Joe Cat, who you might know from the Crap Guide to D&D series on YouTube. He's playing some D&D over there, so we're going to check that out. So we're going to start that raid. It's going to be a good time. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Stay safe, be happy, be healthy, stay healthy, get vaccinated, get boosted, get all of the things to make your life and all of our lives better. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week right here for episode 69 of Newly Forged.
Ooh.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.